So behind the glitz and glam of any construction sites, there is the aspect of the administration of a project. And I think that's something we do really well at Pascon Group. And it's one of our core strengths to delivering a project. So the first stage is obviously the tender stage, when we do get the documentation in and we look through the project to provide an accurate tender. Now what that entails is us going out to all our trades, all our suppliers, and making sure that they are accurately pricing the job in accordance with the documentation and specification. And then also doing our own takeoff as well on materials to make sure we're accurate. But this is probably one of the most fundamental and important aspects of any project, because it A, gives the client an accurate tender, and B, it makes me understand the job, but also knowing that I can deliver the project for the price I've set. We also have our contract administrators that administer the project throughout construction, which involves them going to subcontractors, suppliers, getting 2-3 quotes from each trade from trusted and recommended suppliers and contractors, and then getting competitive pricing and then letting that project or letting that aspect of the works to them as well. The other thing we do before turning soil on site, we'll get our site teams together. Now, they also have their strengths and valuable knowledge. We get them in and we sit down and go, okay, how are we going to build this thing? Do we need full-time supervision? Do we need a site office? Is there an efficient way to change the structure so that we can build it quicker and at a better price for our client? So there is a ton of work that actually happens behind the scenes before we start on site. And I think to properly execute and deliver a project is it's imperative that you plan properly at the very beginning. So I think, again, that's something that we do really well and has serviced us really well for this particular project, because it's given our client that flexibility to really personalize their home and make sure that they're getting everything that they envision. So with all the challenges that we actually face on any given project and any construction project, one that I never thought I would come across is everything that's happening in the world with COVID. So now with the implementation of new restrictions on our community in Australia and also our construction sites, we've had to manage this process with all of our trades, our suppliers, and also our staff, because first and foremost, the safety of everyone is our number one priority. And we want to make sure that everyone does feel safe when coming and working at site. So, now we've had to incorporate signs like this on all of our projects. We're maintaining social distance, keeping good hygiene practices, and then also monitoring people in the event that they are sick and not working on site, which could then effectively almost shut down the whole site and even an organisation as well. So it's an amazing challenge and amazing times that we're living in, and it's one that we just have to sort of work through and minimize any disruption to construction and also delay costs as well. So the beauty about this project and also our other project also is the relationship that we have with our clients, so they understand everything that we're battling and what we're going through. And it's it's just a constant thing that we're monitoring at the moment, and hopefully we can get out of it sooner rather than later. So once we finish our lock-up works, which includes the roof, external cladding and bricks on the ground floor, we then move our trades inside the dwelling so they can commence with their rough-in work. Now the rough-in work is effectively, guys, all the services trades running their wires, pipes to certain locations as per the drawings. On this particular job, we've got the electrician, obviously, plumber, air conditioning contractor, and something a little bit different is the ducted vacuum system, hydronic heating, and then also home automation, which we'll go through a little bit with Tony from Spark Up Electric soon. Really important stage of the build. We want to make sure that we get everything in the right place before we put plaster on. So right now we're actually probably a week away from looking at putting insulation in the walls and then plastering. So we'll go through, do all our checks, make sure all the lights are in the right spot, all the switches, all the plumbing points before we plaster, to eliminate any reworks down the track. So I've got Tony here from Spark Up Electrics, who's our electrician on this particular job. The electrical component of this project is quite complicated and significant to the project. It's very specific to what the client wants. He has particular needs, and we really wanted to bring someone on board that knew exactly what they were doing and could deliver exactly what our client wants. So Tony, can you tell us a little bit about the home automation system that we're incorporating on this job and how it's different from, say, your standard 240 volt house? And when I say 240 volt, I pretty much mean you go to a light, switch it on and off, and that's pretty basic. So how's that different from a standard 240 volt home?
Basically, we're using a system called, obviously, Clipsal C-Bus Home Automation. You've got many benefits. It's efficient. The lighting, you can control basically any lighting load, and the client might want to change it up a little bit. So basically, we wire every single lighting load back to the switchboard location.
Yep.
With a standard 240 volt dwelling, you need to run obviously all the lighting daisy chaining, and you don't have many benefits for that. If a client wants an extra light or a light to be programmed in a different way, we can do so with the C-Bus home automation.
Yeah.
There is an extent, like there's more planning involved obviously with C-Bus home automation, and obviously there's more cabling involved on the dwelling.
So with this home automation and with smart devices, can you actually control your dwelling and your home with your smart device? So be it a tablet or even your phone if you're away off site somewhere?
Correct. So on this luxury home, we've got 3 points where we've got iPad launch boards.
Yep.
So the client can control air conditioning, their multi-room audio. In this case, we're using a Yamaha MusicCast multi-room audio system. Where the client has specified certain rooms he could play music.
Yep.
CCTV can be also viewed through that iPad launch board. He can control his C-Bus home automation.
Yep.
You can control all your blinds. So basically, everything is all in one.
Pretty much everything.
All in one app.
You got it in exactly right, in one central location.
One central location. And they can even take, if they want to sit on the couch, pull the iPad off the wall, sit on the couch, and away they go. They can.
So as you can see, it's a really complicated process, and there is a significant amount more work on site that's required from your standard 240 volt home. Brick selection on this project was a task all on its own. We probably took about 6 months with our client going to different suppliers, checking out different samples, and finally coming to the brick you see behind me, which is an Austral brick, the La Paloma range, which is imported from Spain. It's a colour through brick, and our clients also decided to go with a black mortar, or the interior designers actually decided to go with the black mortar, which it's actually going to look fantastic when it's finished. I've got Anthony from AE Neville Bricklaying behind me doing his thing, and he's one of the best in the biz. So he's working hard, and we're really happy with the result, and it's going to look fantastic when it's done. Above the bricks as well, we've also got a render band, which we'll be doing at a later date. But at this stage, we're just working through all the bricks on the ground floor and finishing that up pretty soon. On any build, the ultimate goal is to bring your client's vision to life. On this job, we've got a really well documented project. We've got over 100 drawings. We'd have a full specification and finishes schedule, as well as our structural and services drawing. So it doesn't leave anything open to interpretation. In saying that, reality and expectations are two different things. So we have regular meetings with our client on site where we walk through each room and make sure that they're happy with the space. And what's happened, as you probably remember in episode 1, they doubled the size of their basement. There has been instances where we've walked on site and they've changed different elements of that particular room. That's stuff like windows, joinery changes, hydronic heating locations, all this sort of stuff. As a builder, you really need to be able to facilitate this with your client. At the end of the day, this is their home. They're moving into it. It's their dream home. It's their forever home. So we only get one shot to build this and to do it right. So we really want to work with them on a regular basis, making sure that they're happy with each space, so that way we can facilitate any changes at the right time and keep any costs to a minimum as well. So that's been a real key feature of this project for our ability to work closely with the client to deliver exactly what they want.